Good morning, everybody. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's another Winner Circle Sports Betting podcast. November the 12th. I'm with Chip Chirimbes as we do on Tuesday. No Matt Fargo. Sometimes life happens. We've seen that. I've missed shows, Chip. We love our sports betting, but, sometimes life comes at you fast, as Ferris Bueller says. Last week here, 3-0 in the video. We'll give you our 2-0. We'll talk about Matt's game as well. But before we get to that, like buttons hit. Please hit the like button. This is our little free pick channel. Hit the like button, notification bell, subscribe. Free pick videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Me, Chip, Doug Upstone, Brian Biller, Matt Fargo. We got you covered. On the weekend, Mr. Chip Chirimbes, Paul Bovey, Jim Feist coming at you Saturday free picks. Friday live, me, Mark Lawrence, Victor King. We got you covered. So again, notification bells on. So you know when the free pick videos come up and when the live shows are, like on Friday or last night for Monday Night Football. If you want our premium action, there you go, gamblersWORLD.net, our sponsor. Head on over there. All right, those are our best plays. Chip Chirimbes, number 3 in NBA money out of the gate. Mr. Megabucks. I don't know why I call him Chip. He should be Megabucks Max or something. We got to change his name. 3, 7, 30-day packages are guaranteed. We show you a profit over that time, or we credit you back. It's really pretty simple. We got a leaderboard to share what we're doing. I'm not doing bad. Number 1 in college basketball. It's got 75 wins in college football. It's all right there. You see, you're losing in NBA. We put the records up there, Chip. We don't hide from a record.
Yeah,
it is there, right? So get the premium stuff from us. Support the show. Support the channel. Support your favorite capper. Do what you got to do. College hoops. We do have a package up right now. It is not an early bird special, but it's a 7-day pass. Go get it. $99. God, look at a nice fancy banner we got going on. All right. We put some time and effort into it. You should too.
Yeah.
You don't want the $99, hit the like button. Or leave a comment telling me why you don't want to buy it. And maybe we can work something out. I don't know. Maybe Chip will send you a signed autograph. He's got his Met hat on because it's hot stove time here. He's pumped up. Chip. It's been a long time since I've seen you. An entire day. How was Monday treating you? What do you got on tap? Anything Tuesday? What do you got going on today?
All right. Thanks a lot, Sean. Monday was great. I mean, we had the NFL winner with Miami outright, and we had a winner in NBA with San Antonio over Sacramento. So it's a nice day. We go 1-0, 1-0, and college basketball today. We're ready to. We have a couple of games out there we like, and picking up 2-0 in college basketball right now, Sean, and picking up the pace right now. I think I have a few games out there today.
So 2-0 yesterday, or just in general? You haven't really bet
in general 2-0.
2-0.
2 underdogs that won outright, as a matter of fact.
There you go. I'm wasting no time. I am 34-19 in college basketball.
Wow. You must have some great information, Sean, because I'm finding it difficult to filter what I need to hear.
And today I just loaded up a couple late. I got 3, 6, 9 games up today. Listen, and this is where you have to buy like a 3-day pass for me, because I got a package up for a 3-pack, because I'm not going to put up like a 10-pack 3. I mean, like you, right? You have a bunch of games. You want somebody to get all your games. So that's why we offer the 3-day, 7-day packages for everybody, or there's, season passes. Because some days you could have 2 games, some days you could have 6 games.
Right.
For as big as Saturday was, I didn't have 20 games that day. Some Saturdays I could have, 12 games, which seems like a lot. It's really not a lot when there's 130 games. But I like college basketball. That's what's in baseball.
I love it.
You got the Met hat on, so let's talk some hot stove. We got the MVP odds not the MVP odds, but they put out the finalists. We got Judge and Soto for the Yanks. I saw just before I went live here, before we came in to do our show, the NL Manager of the Years are up. It's the Mets, the Padres guy, the Brewers. No Dodger coach, no Dave Rogers. And people are like, how's Dave Rogers? And they won the World Series. And part of me was like, you know what? He should be there. As much as I've kicked their back in all season, like I didn't like the win total. I thought they could get picked off by San Diego.
Right.
Because it was all about the pitching staff and staying healthy. And it didn't stay healthy, which part of me is like, he should get some credit for patchworking a bunch of 5-inning guys together. On the flip side of that, you got Ohtani going 50-50. Betts, although he did miss some time. And then Freeman, you got 3 MVP guys. It's tough to say you're the manager of the year when your team was predicted to have the most wins in baseball, which you didn't. You missed it by 10. you're supposed to win the World Series, which you did. It's tough to say you're the coach of the year, where the team like the Mets, you represent them good today, because who saw that coming? No one saw that one coming.
Sean, Memorial Day, I mean, the Mets were out of it for the most part, and everybody was looking to the next season. I think the Mets manager has got to be considered the forerunner. And,
I agree.
Like you said, Dave Roberts getting left out without even a consideration is kind of sad, too, because he did a great job with that team. I mean, they've got the big three, like you said, Freeman and Mookie Betts, who I love, and Ohtani, of course, is one of the best in baseball. But he came through in the end there. I mean, he had one starting pitcher for the World Series.
Yes. I mean, and that actually like 1.5, because Flannery's arm is always on a thread, right? You don't know what you're getting out of that guy. But really, I mean, Betts went down for a little bit. The bottom of the lineup, Teoscar had a nice little, but it wasn't a bunch of guys hitting we don't see the whole team hitting 280.
Their lineup was it was solid compared to the Yankees. I mean, we said all year long the Yankees had holes in their lineup, and it showed. And the Dodgers' philosophy was put the ball in play, and the Yankees will kick it around, and they did.
And for the AL, I mean, I really think it's got to come down to either Detroit or Kansas City coach kind of getting their due there for, who else can really, I mean.
There's another team that Detroit sold everything off at the trade deadline. They come in with all the youngsters. They don't even have a major league payroll yet, and they make the playoffs. I mean, that's a great storyline. I don't think many people really paid that much attention to it.
Yeah, but, and that's what I mean. Again, Kansas City at least didn't sell off; they actually bought at the deadline, so maybe that's a deterrent over the two. But I think it's got to be Tigers and the Mets coach of the year. I mean, then we'll see what's going forward. You got Soto's on the books. He's coming, New York fans. All right, let's. That was a little bit of baseball. We're going to talk some baseball here. We're not going to talk. No war movies.
By the way, Sean, sorry to step on you. I told you that Bronny wasn't going to stay with the Lakers, that he was going to go to the developmental league, and he did.
He did.
So,
they're gearing up. I saw they posted him. He had like 5 turnovers. I'm like, look at this. They're already cheering this guy like he's a G League MVP. Although we talked to NBA yesterday. Their in-season cup has just begun, so the Lakers got to be out here first. They're coming out to be the first team ever in NBA history to defend their in-season tournaments. So see if they can be back-to-back in-season champs or chumps, depending on how you look at the in-season tournament.
I saw them out here last year. They played in Vegas, and there was one game, and LeBron James just dominated the game against, I think it was the Pelicans. Just totally dominated Williamson.
One last thing before we move on to college football. The fact that the NBA has to do this crap, let's call it what it is, to motivate guys who are making $35 million. This is why I've got like 4 games bet for the NBA this year. Like I can't. That is a zero. If that's what they have to do in November to get these guys into gear to play, you want to bet your hard-earned money on them all the time, folks. I don't. Some guys do. I'm not knocking them for making money. Fine, I can't. It just upsets me. Speaking of upsetting, no Matt Fargo today. But we're going to cover his game. Again, last week, 3-0 here. We got the brooms out, so we got a lot to live up to. Because yesterday we went 1-3 because I split my games. You lost a brutal one with the Pelicans. They were up and ended up losing by 2 again, 1.5. And then Doug's play, Cleveland. I saw they were up 6 late. They ended up not doing. I was like, what? Well, hey, it happens again. We can't win them all, folks. We try. Like last Tuesday, we won them all. Let's try to win them all here. North Texas and San Antone here. Again, this is Matt Fargo's game. I got a little bit on it here. Me and Green, 2.5-point favorites. A total 72.5. Chip, when I see these kind of totals, I'm automatically like, I got to go over these kind of numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
San Antonio, they're off a big win over Memphis. I had North Texas last week. The line went down to 4. I'm like, all right, Army's quarterback's out. They end up losing 14-3. They couldn't get in from the 2-yard line. Basically, was the game there. I look at this number, 72.5. I got to think over. Again, I don't have this is just kind of just a random opinion. I'd have to look at the over based on the number here at 72.5. And I want to say North Texas because of San Antonio off a big win over Memphis. Like that's a big win for them. Memphis was supposed to be like the top team coming out of here. Texas with 3 points, bad showing. They score 3 points. The next game's 72 total.
Yes.
I like the over. I don't know.
Sean, I agree with you 100%, Sean. And 72.5, I went, whoa, I saw this. And then I looked at it and it went to see why. First off, North Texas, the Mean Green, who won the NIT for me 2 years ago, by the way, they are not only averaging 500 yards a game offensively, they're 8-2 to the over in their last 10. San Antonio is 7-3 to the over in their last 10. And to offensively, listen to these numbers, Sean. In the last meetings that they've had against each other, North Texas gone for 459, 366, 456, 461, 506, 516. That's the number of total yards offensively. And against North Texas, and San Antonio had 571, 495, 624, and 421. I see the game going over. That 72.5 is certainly an indicator. I mean, when you see that, how can you not think? They're talking 10 touchdowns and a field goal. I'm going to play over.
Last year would have been an under, and it was a total of 70 last year. 37-29, 48-27, 31-27. Again, still crooked numbers. Didn't get to the 70, but, 45-23, 49-17, 45-3. And then North Texas just this year alone.
And, Sean, they scored 3 points last week, and now they're telling you got to go over 72? I'm going to play over.
Well, look at the game before that. 45-37 loser, 52-44 loser, 41-37, 52-20, 44. They gave up 66 in a game. And San Antonio, 44-36, 46-45, 38-24. The points, the crooked numbers are on the board here. You're going to get this game could be 21-21 in the first quarter. Right? Would that be shocking?
It's going to be one of those games where the only time the running back's going to stop is when he reaches the end zone. They're just going to keep playing.
We will make this an official video pick. We'll just call it an official video pick. It won't affect either of I keep track of my college football records here. But it won't affect. We're just going to say over this game if you're looking to get down on this one. I am 8-8 in my college football, 8-8 in college football, doing the free pick videos here, 15-5 in NFL. But for arguments, 8-8, you got to know. It is. We're 8-8 in the free picks here, Chip, but I'm number one in college football on the site, and I'm 4 games under 500 in the NFL on the site, but yet here I'm 10 games over.
Well, you'll pick it up.
That's baseball, Susan, as we like to say. Now, you like that little
Susan Waldman? Yeah, I don't know who else got that, but I did.
That's baseball, Susan. I love it. We're gonna head to UCLA and Washington, Chip. Washington 3.5-point fave, a total of 46.5. They dropped 3 of 4, 4 of 6. Although the wins are at home, USC and Michigan in that big payback game. I guess you look at it for the championship, even though the quarterbacks are gone, but. 3 straight wins for UCLA. We talked about this last week. We kind of all gave UCLA last week in that kind of spot there, a little home dog versus Iowa. They're playing with a little heart. I'm going to kind of lean on UCLA this. Again, they're going to give me points with UCLA, and they're playing pretty good. But this is your game here.
UCLA, I'm sorry, UCLA had one of the worst starts I've ever seen. Not only did Indiana destroy them after they beat Hawaii, they came back and they lose 6 in a row. Their offense was pathetic, Sean. I haven't watched any of the games, and yet they've won money for it because I've had them, and they've really come on. I'm going to talk about an improvement from the beginning to the season till now. That team is probably one of the most improved teams, is UCLA, but their offense is still horrible. Now, Washington got waylaid last week by Penn State, which would make me want to come back with them, and UCLA's coming off a big win. But there's other factors out here. UCLA is only averaging 321 yards a game offensively. And Washington, of course, is allowing 74 yards a game rushing, and they have no defense. They're averaging 312 yards as well. I don't see anybody scoring in this game, Sean. I think it's going to be a defensive affair. Like I said, UCLA has come through with us going 6-3 against the points. But Washington's only gone over 2 of their last 10. And I don't see how this game goes over the total. UCLA is 0-3 to the total right now, going over. I say this game stays under the total.
All right. Under 46.5 here. Listen, this is why we do the video, because I wasn't looking at the total at all. I was kind of just looking at UCLA because they're playing better. Like we mentioned, they started terrible. And who'd they play there? I mean, we could at the time it was like Indiana. Who's Indiana? Well, they're in the top 10 right now, folks.
Indiana's good.
You know, you lose to who? They lost to Oregon. Really, that's the number one team. You lose to Penn State. I think that's like the 5. So the losses you look at like, oh, it's terrible. But if it's good enough for the SEC to say, oh, we're losing to Mississippi and the Georgias and Tennessees, well, let's give UCLA a little credit for losing to 3 teams in the top 10 as well. So official play here, though, we're going to go under the 46 and a half. Again, free picks, folks. Free picks video here on Winner Circle. If you want the premium stiffs, I guess you get stiffs too, I guess. But if you want the premium stuff, gamblersworld.net. All Chip's plays. I saw Chip is going number 3 in NBA. I saw he's on a nice little run here. Megabucks as well. 6,000 Buckaroos up over 6K with his 5 and 10 star. I guess those would be your.
And that's with an 0-3 Sunday in the NBA too.
So those are his max plays. The mega dollar. What are the mega dollars you call them, Chip? I forget what you call them.
Megabucks, buddy.
Megabucks. Mega chips. He's a chip off the old block, folks. That's for sure.
Winner.
Again, gamblersworld.net for the premium plays. Now we got some Houston, Arizona time for Chip. He's chomping at the bit because he's a border town guy there. He's Nevada, Arizona, right next to each other. He looks over at Hoover Dam's like, I'm going to take you, Wildcats. Do it. Let's do it right here. 1.5 point dogs. 1.5 point favorites, Arizona. I mean, I guess if you're looking at the Arizona side, it's money line 125. Total's 44.5. Both teams off bye weeks. But where are we going here in Arizona? 5 straight losses. Look at the points. 56, 31, 34, 41, 28. Yikes. Houston, though, does have a defense. Usually defenses travel a little bit. I'm actually going to look at the over in this one, believe it or not. I'm going to, as much as the Houston defense, it's, let's not hurt ourselves. They're kind of almost getting to 20 points in some of these games, which, again, in today's day and age of football, when we got teams, we're talking about a total of 72 in a spot, and you got a team like Houston that scored over 23 times. Not really where you think, especially on the road. But, Willie Fritz, new coach, takes a little while to get it going. The defense has always been there. Maybe the offense finds its way. 24 points last game. Huge upset against K-State. 13-point dogs. They end up winning. If this was the next week, I'd be like all over Arizona, right? You drop 5 in a row. The other team's off a double-digit win. It's a pick'em. I think both teams kind of get their acts together, right, or get a little better. Arizona's obviously versus a team they should beat. You're home. I don't care that you got 1 win or whatever you got on the season, Arizona. 3-6. Terrible. Yeah. I'm going to go over to 44. I just feel like as bad as that Arizona defense is, Houston, another week to prepare. Big win. They're feeling good. They get us 20 points here. I'll be feeling really well. Even 17, because I think Arizona's going to hit that 30-point mark. So I'm going to go over the 44.5.
Well, Sean, Arizona and Arizona State must have switched uniforms during the offseason because Arizona State had only won 2 games the last 2 years, and they're off to a great start. Arizona's 1-8 against the number, which is really terrible to deal with. You're playing the over, and I'm kind of surprised because Houston hasn't been able to score or move the ball, and their defense has been their biggest asset, right? They're 1-8 going over in their last 9, and I think they lost to UNLV opening the season, and that was one of our big winners. Then they come out, have a struggling game against Oklahoma, which really was an indication of how weak Oklahoma was overall, right? I think the score was like 18-14 or something along those lines. Then they get shut out back-to-back games against Cincinnati and Iowa State. But since then, they've really been playing decent football. I mean, they're 4-5, 5-4 against the number. Their offense averages less than 300. Their defense gives up only 319, and they're averaging 15 points a game. Sean, you're the Antichrist in this game. You're playing over. I would take Houston because I think Arizona's so bad.
Yeah, but that's why I'm like, I look at it again, 24-19, won again over there, 17-14 a win, 42-14 loser at Kansas, 30-19 winner at TCU. So they won 3 or 4. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're kind of finding a little offense.
Yep.
And Arizona, they're so bad defensively. Again, 56-31, 34, 41, 28. if Houston finds a little offense and gets to that 20-something point mark, I think Arizona will be able to put up their points as well, because you're in a spot where you're just it's a desperation kind of mode, and it's again it is definitely opposite think. Like we've seen 42s in college, we've seen kind of 40s, right? I mean they're not Iowa-esque, but they sort of are Iowa-esque when it comes to, or not this year's Iowa because they're putting 40 a game up, but past seasons. Again, I could be wrong. This is a free pick, folks, but I look at the Arizona totals are always in the mid 50s, higher 55, 57s. Now we're down to 44s. I think Houston scores a couple off the break. Teams off a bye week. I feel like you're going to kind of come out with a little trickery. In Arizona's case, they're so bad. Like, why not run a flea flicker? Reverse on a kickoff or so, you know what I'm saying? Like at this
They're
point,
having trouble running quarterback sneaks, Sean. Come on.
Yeah, but you think you get a little crazy. You got nothing to lose here. I mean, you got a new head coach in Arizona. The other guy went up, took over the Washington program. Right, Fish left. Hey, listen, I don't mind being a little contrarian sometimes. I know you want to call me the Antichrist, but I mean that could be a little fun. Hey, unfortunately, I don't know if it's good or bad. I've been called worse sometimes, even by my wife. I do something. So there's that. All right, listen, recapping here. We got under 46.5 the UCLA Washington game. I'm going to go over a little. Definitely, Chip's got the side eye me. He's giving me the rock eye when I'm going over to Arizona 44.5. And we both a bunch of totals today. And we both like that new San Antonio 72.5. Though that was a match game with us, but we talked about it, and it's just like we almost like one of those auto kind of plays when we see these kind of numbers where we just kind of automatically get to that over and go over 72.5. Again, these are our free picks. All right, free picks here. Hit the like button for the free picks. Wonderful. GamblersWORLD.net for all of our premium content. Now, Chip, before we head out here on the 12th of November, be sure to tell everybody what you got going on.
Okay, I got a few things for you. Aside from having a trifecta of NBA winners tonight, November 12th is a very interesting day. Not only in 1946 on this date did my parents get married, imagine that, but in 1920, Kennison Mountain Landis was named the Major League Baseball commissioner, and this was off of the 1919 Black Sox scandal. All the court decisions had come down about this time, a year after the games had been fixed. In 1933, you remember the blue law, Sean? I don't know if you remember when I was growing up, bars couldn't open on Sundays, and if they did, they had to be able to. Well, in 1933, the NFL played their very first game on a Sunday, and it was the Eagles and Bears to a 3-3 tie, and that was played in Baker Field in Philadelphia. 1953, the NFL progressing, TV had now become a big commodity in NFL, and the first blackout of home games was incorporated in 1953 on this date. They felt that if you televised the home games, people wouldn't go, and they found out in baseball that that's not true because they blacked out in baseball, but it actually creates interest and, of course, revenue dollars from advertising. And here's an anomaly. I mean, here we have Cleveland Cavaliers, so 11-0, maybe 12-0, and in 1970, it was on this date that their franchise won their very first game after 15 straight losses, and that was at Portland. That's where the Cleveland Cavaliers posted their first victory in 1970. And I don't know if you remember this, Sean. I do. 1990, Buddy Ryan decided to call this game against the Redskins the body bag game, and he knocked out 7 Redskin players, not Commodores. He knocked out 7 Redskins knocked out 8 Redskins in that game. Buddy Ryan wins that game 28-14. And in 1992, Steve Howell, you remember him? Reinstated in baseball for the 8th time, violating the drug policy. And in 1995, Dan Marino became the all-time passing leader, 47,000 total yards. That's it for November 12th. Other than that, we've got a 3-pack of NBA winners up there, and college basketball is just starting to heat up. So log on, follow the buy links at gamblersworld.net. Sean, myself, there's 13 others out there. And you know what? We're providing a great service of winning selections for you.
Reggie White and Jerome Brown. Jeff Rutledge, broken thumb. Stan Humphries, sprained knee. Gerald Riggs, sprained foot. Walter Stanley, sprained knee. Joe Howard, concussion, carted off on a stretcher. Greg Minuski, sprained knee.
Yeah, he called it the body bag game. I think he got fined for saying that too, as a matter of fact.
Let's see. Later in the season, the two rivals meet in a wild card game, and Washington beat the Eagles 20-6. Final game of Buddy Ryan's tenure. I thought for sure when you said that it was going to be like the Cowboy game where they knocked out like Luis and Dejas on the kickoff. They just pummeled the poor Cowboys at like 80. That 89-90 Cowboy team was just terrible.
Well, I tell you, the Cowboys are being lassoed. That's for sure. That team is just terrible, terrible.
Well, this guy, he definitely. Listen, as a Cowboy fan, we had a good run. You chased out Jimmy Johnson. You chased out Parcells. And I wasn't even cheering for you when you had Parcells because, to me, Parcells is a Giants coach. So I couldn't even cheer for you. I was happy that I had DeMarcus Ware and Tony Romo when you left. But this guy, terrible. And, you mentioned, who's that, Kennesaw?
Yeah,
you got to love.
Mountain Landis. He was a judge.
Go ahead.
He left the Senate seat to take the commissioner's job.
Like the Cats out of like the 20s, 30s, and 40s, just great nicknames for Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Everybody had some kind of like, hey, it's Hacksaw Robbie Lee or something. Like this.
You had Sad Sam Jones pitching baseball. They did. They had great names for these guys.
Great stuff. All right, listen. Chip gave you the rundown everything he's got going on at gamblersWORLD.net. I got some college basketball for today. As I mentioned, I'm number one in college hoops right now out of the gate. College football winter up as well tonight. You don't want to miss out on that. I'm having a good college football season. Can't complain. I think I'm 76-65 on the site, 58%. I'll take it. I'm not going to be greedy. Let's go. Again, find us both there along with 12 other handicappers, gamblersworld.net. These are the free picks under UCLA, over UT San Antonio, over Houston, Arizona. And that's a wrap. Tomorrow, me, Mr. Met, and Brian Bittler, we're back at it with some more. We got NFL tomorrow. I don't remember what we got tomorrow. We got some football on deck. So we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday to you all. Good luck, everybody.